Alright, so today I am ranking every BFB character on how easy they are to kill, starting from the easiest character to the most difficult character. I will be basing this on how easy they are to kill in real life. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting in F tier, we will have characters that can either be instantly killed or would just die on their own. Bubble is easily my pick for last place. In real life, bubbles might pop randomly for no reason, and when it's floating, if it touches one little thing, it disappears. So if I were to even touch Bubble, she would die. Teardrop is absolutely minuscule, the smallest character by a landslide. If you touch the teardrop, move it around a little, it would already be destroyed. Teardrop isn't quite as sensitive though, so it would probably just die on its own. Since we're basing this on real life, he would just instantly melt, and even if that wasn't the case, you could just easily smush him. He ranks above Bubble though, since he is less sensitive. Along with Bubble, who is already on this list, she's one of the characters with the most deaths, and I can see why. Like Snowball, I could just wait for her to melt. She would take longer than Snowball, so that puts her above him. And Ice Cube is also easily smashable. On the topic of smashability, holy would Bottle be easy to kill. One drop, dead. In E tier, we have characters that are light work to kill. Leafy is incredibly light, making her really easy to kill. One quick soft tear, and she's already gone. Very flammable as well. Flower has petals, which if you ripped her that way, she would take a little longer to kill, but mainly anything that happened to Leafy applies to her. I think a patch of grass is ever so slightly less easy to rip than a leaf, just due to some extra weight. Match would snap so easily, like a twig basically. Very flammable as well. Puffball is a little thicker than the rest, but is still very easy to rip and very flammable. Again, easy to rip, but folded paper would be a lot thicker than a lot of these materials. Would be easy to shred and very flammable as well. At the end of the day, bath bags are also paper, so this feels like a fitting place. Although ripping her once might just injure her, which could cause all the bath to fall out, and we know what occurs when that happens. But more rips equals more time, which puts her a little higher. Basically same situation as bath bag. You rip it apart and all of its stuff falls out, but I had to put them somewhere. Easily smashable and even has a melting point when things get too warm. All food items basically rank at the same point. Cake is no exception. Once again, a very easy crushable food. Okay, sure, a hard material, but if you throw her, she would immediately crack and die. Another character you could just rip in half, or if you just ate him, it wouldn't take long at all. I could just easily smash pie with my fist. It wouldn't be that difficult at all. I would just rip her apart like most of the other items. Some different price tag materials might be different, but still, again, you could just rip them apart. Sure, still very easily breakable, but you have to put a little bit of force into it. But only a little. Still light work. For the sake of the video, he is floating around on ground level, okay? Not up in the sky. But even if it is a huge cloud, you could probably just split him apart. It would be a little finicky though. You probably thought he would be lower, especially because he could just pop randomly, but balloons can be a little annoying and finicky to deal with, so that's why he ranks so high. Alright, again maybe another controversial pick, especially because fires can die down due to lack of oxygen, but I think it would be a bit more of a hassle than it looks. You would have to fill up a cup of water, then throw it onto him. A pretty easy task, sure, but another reason I rank the fires so high is because they're a little dangerous, and are capable of hurting you back and killing some of the objects on this list. The man, the legend himself. Fire would take a lot more time and a lot more water to die, and would be a lot more dangerous, but still, he really isn't that difficult, and he could just die on his own account, so he escapes D tier. For D tier, these are objects that are pretty easy to kill. The only reason he is this high is because of metal sponges, but yeah, Spongy would be easy to kill. The only way to kill him is to kill yourself as well, and that has to bring him up at least a tier, but basically just use the match and wait for him to explode. To be honest, erasers aren't the most easy to kill with your hands. This one looks easy, and you could probably just slice them with a knife, but at the end of the day, this ain't light work, in my opinion. For the purposes of this video, I'm assuming winner is clay. Hard clay probably wouldn't be that difficult to break, If you throw it on the hardwood floor, it might break, but it might just brittle, but after a few throws, it's gonna crack and break. You could probably just smash Rocky onto the ground, but if that doesn't work, you might need to do it multiple times, or get a harder object to kill him with. Alright, put the pitchforks down, but I think you're underestimating how easy Ruby would be to kill. She's easily smashable in the show, sure, but certain types would be pretty hard, and I think she would even be above Rocky, so who knows. I think just taking the berries out would kill her, but some remotes might have an annoying little lid that needs to be opened. But I still think this is an appropriate place for her. The highest ranking food item, and by a mile. The candy on top is just such a hard material. I'll just lick her and wait till she evaporated. I mean, biting her would be better, but what kind of psychopath does that? I'm not sure Bracelety would be that easy to snap. You can see to the right, not our left, that our person has a pretty thick material, but nevertheless, if I find something to cut it with, it would be a pretty easy task. You might be able to smash Clock on your own, but if not, you could just get a hard object like a hammer and smash him with it. A staple would be pretty easy to kill. I think if you just pulled it apart and it snapped, I think that would count as me killing it. If I smash her around a bit like Snowball did in that one episode, then I think she would die. So I guess somewhat easy to kill. I mean, sure, basketballs are hard and inflated, but one sharp object and basketball goes bye-bye. Same goes for tennis ball. Sure, they're well made, but you could definitely cut it in half. Alright, now we're moving up. We're on to C tier. Things won't be incredibly easy, but they won't be incredibly difficult either. The thing with TV, unlike most objects already on the list, is that you probably can't just brute force it. You might need something heavy, but honestly, even something like a broom could work. Although, unlike the show, the TV worth judging for its ability to kill is supported on a wall. Some pens are very easy to disarrange, however, this pen doesn't look like one of them. Although, if you put it in the microwave for about a minute, not gonna test it, it would explode. Same goes for marker. Sure, it'd be easier to kill than TV, but I probably couldn't do that by myself. At least we're hitting him with a weapon by ourselves. A pillow is also an underestimated object. You ain't pulling it apart by yourself. But you could probably just set it on fire with like a lighter. Pillows are very flammable. I mean, sure, you could rip all the pages out, but that won't do anything. You're still left with a very thick cover. You would probably have to burn her to a crisp. In fact, that goes for all wood products. Well, except one, but we'll get to him later. I'm pretty sure Blocky and Loser would be a wooden cube, but if not, he would probably still be able to burn easily. And an easier method might be to saw all these objects. Okay, B tier. Now we have to put in some effort. Okay, now we're on to humans. Yes, humans rank this much lower than 15 objects, but we're all capable of killing a human. It probably isn't that hard to snap someone's neck or choke them out so hard that they die. Plus, you could do it with your bare hands. Probably, but a weapon would make it a lot easier. Light is a pretty solid material, sure, but if you beat her up with a hammer roughly 4 times, she would explode into smithereens. In Teapot episodes, we've seen Robot Flower has an off switch, so I would probably need a screwdriver to get inside her mainframe, and then I would have to turn off the switch and kill her. I'm not sure I'd be able to crush her to death by stomping on her, but if not, this is my alternative situation. The other robot counterpart. Her body would probably be able to be killed using the same method as Robot Flower. Screwdriver his grid open, or whatever's keeping him alive, and throw in a wrench to dismantle him or something. I don't know. Okay, now we have Pin. She looks harder to kill than she is, but you could basically just melt her pretty easily because she's made of plastic. Eventually, it would start dissolving. It would take a bit of time though. Alright, now we have A tier. From here on out, objects are gonna get pretty hard to kill. Okay, there has been wood products and plant products way below them, but the thing is, I'm not gonna create a fire that big. That's dangerous as hell, and plus, that'll take way too long to kill him. I would probably need to chop him down with an X, and still then, it wouldn't be an easy task. All of that would require pretty good strength and precise accuracy. So in my opinion, that takes him up a tier. Golf ball seems really difficult to destroy, but if Blocky can do it, so can we. My method would be swinging at a wall with a golf club, hoping it would damage over time, but if that didn't work, it would just get destroyed in the oven pretty easily. And officially the last ball on the list. I couldn't find anything that would break an 8 ball because apparently a break is a move and pause. So that would keep showing up, but I really don't know what to do with them. They are made with a very strong material, so it'd be pretty difficult to break them. So it might be off to the oven with him. Huge shout out to Redstone35 for this segment, because these characters were so difficult to kill, I had to resort to melting them, and this video helped tell me when each would melt. From here on out, we're ranking characters on what temperature would kill them. For Belle, it's a whopping 1565 Fahrenheit, 852 Celsius. Corny's death temperature is 1742 Fahrenheit and 950 Celsius. Nickel's death temperature is 1984 Fahrenheit and 1084 Celsius. Naylee's death temperature is 2600 Fahrenheit and 1426 Celsius. Ignore that it says nickel, that was a spelling mistake, I got a bit lazy. Saw's death temperature is 2640 Fahrenheit and 1427 Celsius. Needle's death temperature is 3215 Fahrenheit and 1768 Celsius. Alright, these characters are so hard to kill that it isn't even humanly possible. Yup, it's that difficult. Possibility. Possibility is the mere factor of why he's in second place and not first. No, it's not possible for humans to kill lightning. Obviously not. It's unattainable, and still, even if it was, humans still wouldn't be able to kill it. But that's not how we're ranking stuff here. No. It's not how I can kill them, but it's how killable they are. And by that definition, lightning is still killable. Along with the temperature video that I mentioned earlier, it shows that lightning actually dies at a ridiculously high point of 50,000 Fahrenheit in the sun's convection zone. However, our first place pick is unkillable. Black Hole, the only unkillable contestant. Not only does he have that title, but he is also one of the most unkillable things in our whole solar system. A huge, terrifying force of dark matter that scientists don't even know much about. It is impossible to kill. There is never gonna be anything that can destroy it. It only destroys, and it earns a very well-deserved first place. Well, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Where would you rank things? And please make sure to give me new video ideas. I really don't know what to do. But thank you very much for your attention and watching throughout the full video. It would be very much appreciated if you liked and subscribed. And also, if you're curious, here's the whole list. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.